Hello, Inside Algebra kiddos. We are up to Chapter 3, Objective 2. So our first word is going to be a statement that has two quantities of mathematical expressions are equal. We call that an equation. Alright. And the next one, a number that multiplies to equal 1. We call that a multiplicative inverse. It's a big word here. Multiplicative inverse. Next, this is an equation of a straight line. So whenever we have an equation of a straight line, we call that a linear equation. Okay. Next, this is talking about, well, what is this multiplicative inverse that I was speaking of? Well, that's when we take a number and we flip it over, and it's kind of as up here you see, or reciprocal. Okay, so like 27, I wouldn't say equal, but its reciprocal is going to be 1 over 27. So negative 13, its reciprocal is 1 over negative 13. But when we have a fraction already, we take it and flip it around. So we can say 4 over 1 or 4. That's a little more clear. Here we have negative 1/2. Well, got to keep the negative. And I'm going to flip it over and say 2 over 1 or negative 2. With 3/4. Its reciprocal or multiplicative inverse is 4 over 3. And negative 1 is an easy one because it's just 1 over 1. Well, negative 1 over 1, which is really equal to negative 1. So a negative 1 reciprocal is still negative 1. Now the fun one, what do you think the reciprocal of a smiley face is? Well, frown face. Now I have had some funny students do something like this, and I guess you wouldn't be wrong either. Alright, down here, evaluating equivalent expressions. So what is it going to do if I multiply 1/2 times 2x? Well, what is half of 2? 1/2 times 2. So really what I'm doing is I'm taking 2 and its reciprocal, or 1/2 and its reciprocal, and multiplying them. And I'm always going to get 1x, or I can just call that x. Just like here, negative 4. Its reciprocal is negative 1/4. When I multiply those two, I'm going to get 1 and y. And I could also just call that y. It's an understood one. And we don't have to put it there. You can, but you don't have to. And 1 over 9, so 1/9 times 9x. Those two really just cancel each other out, and you're left with 1x, or just x. Okay, second page. So we're getting into the meat of this. This is the multiplication. So here we have 5x equals 15. Well, how do we get, just like we did with addition and subtraction, we are going to get the variable by itself. So this is really, we understand this is really just 5 times x. So how do you get rid of times? Because remember, any number next to a variable means times, so 5 times x. How do you get rid of it? Well, the opposite of multiplication is division, so I divide by 5 on that side, and divide by 5 on that side. Those 5's cancel each other out, which is exactly what I want. So I'm left with x, 15 divided by 5, and I get a 3. So x equals 3. Let's try over here. 3x equals 12. Remember, that's really just multiplying 3 times x. And again, I'm going very detailed here. We'll start getting into some small shortcuts to save you space and time. 3 times x. How do you undo times? Well, I divide. I'm going to divide on both sides. What am I going to divide by? The number that gets rid of it by x. Well, the 3. They cancel. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other. 12 divided by 3, 4. Do the same thing here. Here is 3x. Well, that's 3 times x, right? So I divide by 3. Divide by 3. Those 3's cancel. Leaves me the x, which I have. Negative 9 divided by 3. X must be negative 3. Over here. Negative 2x. That's negative 2 times x, so it's times, so I divide. I'm going to divide on each side. And divide each side by negative 2. Left with x. 12 divided by negative 2, negative 6. And 2 more here, guys. Negative 3x. So I divide by negative 3 on each side. You can see how quick this gets going. I'm left with x. 12 divided by negative 3, negative 4. Again, use your calculator if you need to. Here's negative 3 next to the x. So I divide by negative 3 on each side, and I get negative 1. So that's multiplication. Let's look at the division. So the one with division is where it gets I don't know, trickier, easier for some, but it's just like we're doing with the multiplicative inverse. Remember over here? Bring in the inverse of 1/6. Well, what is the inverse or reciprocal of 1/6? Well, it's 6, or 6 over 1 if you really want to think about it like that, saying the same thing. So that cancels that, leaving me x. Since I multiplied by 6 on that side, I still got to multiply by 6 on this side. So 6 times 6, 36. Over here, multiply by its reciprocal. 3 over 2, since 2 over 3. And I got to multiply by that over here. 3 over 2. Those cancel, leave me x. Since 4 doesn't have a fraction under it, we can just make one. 4 over 1 is 4. So when I multiply 4 times 3, that's 12. 1 times 2 is 2. What's 12 divided by 2? 6. Okay, takes a little practice, but you'll get it. 1/9. What's the reciprocal of 1/9? Well, 9 over 1. They cancel. Remember, 9 over 1 is just 9. It's the same thing. So 9 over 1 and 9 are the same thing. 7 times 9. 63. Multiply by its reciprocal, 3/8. Okay, well, 8/3. Remember, we're trying to get the numbers away from x. So since I multiplied by 8/3, I'm going to do it again. If I want 3 to be in a fraction, put a 1 underneath. 3 times 8, 24. 1 times 3, 3. 24 divided by 3, 8. Okay, 2 more. 1/3 multiplied by 3 over 1. Remember, 3 over 1 is just 3. Those cancel, leaves me x. 5 times 3, 15. And the last one, 2/9. Multiply by 9 over 2. Multiply by 9 over 2. Put 4 over 1. These cancel. 4 times 9, 36. 1 times 2, 2. What's half of 36? Or 36 divided by 2? 18. I will see you in class.